Motor Mind. Hey folks, Motor Mind here. So I am going to be working on 2007 KIA Sorento with a 2.5 common rail turbo diesel. This vehicle has a one fault. One of the faults, there's a few things go on this, is it's got a very slow acceleration. Once you get to about 2500 RPM stuff, then it tends to go, but before that it's kind of slow off the line. I've looked into this and it seems like I might need a turbo, but we'll show you first the diagnosis, show you the symptoms, and we'll go from there. So we'll get her fired up, and I'll show you. I'm going to stick the my camera in the steering wheel, and you can kind of see how the RPMs come up and then kind of slow. You can see as I'm taking off, and then watch the acceleration. I'll try to get it up to about 30 miles an hour. You'll watch it kind of take off from there. All right. Okay, so this vehicle is equipped with automatic gearbox as well, so it's not like anything like that. So we'll start from standstill. It's on here, right? Okay, so I don't have my hands on the steering wheel, not on the camera. Right, so from start off here, this is full. That's full throttle. As you can see, off the line is rather slow. So once again, idle. This is going to be full throttle all the way down. That's to the floor, and then you can feel the boost kick in. And then after that, it's off. It goes. A little bit fast there, but so even from rolling, full throttle, nothing. All right, so as you can see there, it's definitely slow off the line. Now this vehicle has already had the fuel filter, air filter, oil filter, oil's full service done on it. A few months ago, had this fault when this vehicle was first purchased, and this fault has continued on since then. Sorry for the background noise. I'm on hands-free, but so yeah, it just needs a bit more. So I looked into further, and you can see this where in the turbo. I will show you where in the turbo in a couple days here, probably just a second for you. But yeah, so what I'm going to be doing on this, so I'm going to be doing the cartridge on it instead of the whole entire turbo assembly. We are going to be this. We're going to replace just the cartridge inside, which is pretty much just all the internals of the turbo. Split the case open. Usually got a really fairly large retaining ring, and you can split the case open, reorient it. Not a big deal. I've done this before on a previous vehicle here, and this is definitely a bit more of a cost-effective way of doing this. A lot of mechanic shops nowadays would just replace the whole turbo assembly instead of actually just kind of replacing the bit that needs replacing. So that's kind of where I go with my channels. I try to do the job correctly and properly, but I try to do it more cost effectively. So like, I'm on my hands free, by the way. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that now. I don't think it's gonna be the diaphragm for the pressure relief valve, or wastegate valve, whatever you want to call it, which is external on this vehicle. Anyways, it sits on the side, dead easy to get to. That's the problem. I don't think it's a problem, anyways. I'm not hearing a lot of a lot of turbo noise, like I'm losing pressure, and I have all my I have to boost the higher RPM. And so what it's come down to is, I'm pretty sure this is what it is for my diagnosis, is that it's the turbo's just not spooling up a low RPM. It's not creating enough pressure, and then when you get higher RPM, then it's finally able to build enough boost pressure to actually operate correctly. I think that's what's going on with this. So if there is a problem with that diaphragm down the road, it's only about a 15-20 minute job at the most. It includes getting everything out of the way to replace the little diaphragm that opens the wastegate up. if there's an issue with the wastegate itself, like with the little floppy valve that opens up, it's inside, it is inside an exhaust, then that's, I'll see that when I take the whole assembly out, and then that time I can look at repairing that. There's ways of repairing that, I have to replace it, so I'm not too worried about that. So it does move freely. I've already checked that out anyways, just in case anybody's wondering. So yeah, we're doing that here, and then down the road I got a few more projects to do on this vehicle. I got some front struts that need replacing. One of them is worn out, leaking a bit. Pardon me. I'm going to replace both of them because I don't want to replace just the one. And you have one new one on one side, and one older one that's probably half worn out, on its way out anyways, on the other side. And then when you hit a bump, you get the wall to be, you know, one side's stiff, and the other side kind of wants to bounce a bit, or it's softer, and then you get the front one to jump around a bit. I highly recommend anytime you're doing anything to do with like suspension, is that, especially when it comes to like the shocks and struts, do both. Even if you cheap out a little bit, you're better off to have at least the same on the front. Now, I'm not cheaping out completely. I'm putting KYBs on here, which I've used before in the past. I've never had a problem with them. They've always been good when I've worked in other shops and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I'm on the test drive right now. I'm not doing the vehicle at this moment. The parts just come in, which is why I'm in my nicer clothes and not in clothes that I don't want to get dirty. So, but yeah, we'll crack on here. I'll just a second here. I'll just be a couple days for me, but it'll be instantly for you, in which we will be taking this turbo out. I'll show you the wear and how. And one thing that can indicate is wear in this. Now, this turbo is obviously still working, it's still boosting, and it's starting to leak a little bit of oil, which is another way. Well, the thing I knew that the turbo was starting to wear, so the oil seal is starting to go out of it, and that's part of where replacing the cartridge is. It's all the assembly inside. All I'm doing is splitting the case open and replacing all the internals, putting the case back together, and it's about half the price it is to buy the whole turbo assembly. Yeah, it'd be maybe a bit quicker to do the whole turbo assembly, because just take it out, hold the new unit in, bolt it up, you know, got new gaskets, kick it out. This comes on new gaskets, but it's a little bit more labor intensive. But for the fact that it's like half the price, parts cost, and I'm doing this myself and know how to do this, then it's definitely worth it for me. I'm going to save myself probably about £100 or so. So in America, that's, you know, about, you're looking at $150 or so. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to pay that or not, but I prefer to keep that cash in my pocket and put it on other things, like other parts that this vehicle needs. It's not a lot of parts. I got a few things diagnosed on this, but these are the kind of ones that I prioritize. So let's crack on with this, and we'll see you in a second. Hey folks, so working on the Kia now. A couple days because some things came up. It's been since just seen me, but here we are. So start taking this off here. Start with taking the top cover off here. So I think it's 10mm bolts. This thing should be 5 of them. Pop it off. Go from there. Okay, so I got the cover off there. You see this turbo down there. So your airbox needs to come out. Just go on here. And it seems we have a bit of oil on top of here. It's brief from filling this up, and it's all spilt. So again, they're going to get a light, and we're going to get down to there. Hey, let's get the airbox out. Just going to take those clips off there. The 4 clips are around here. I just don't know. We also need to get this plug off here. What I'll probably do, actually, I'm going to leave that on. I just need to get this out of my way. And then there's also bolts on this down there. You take that off there. This is the turbo assembly. Here's the that's the actuator for the release valve. Or actually, I think this actually has variable fins on it. So Actually, I might just test that real quick and just make sure it works. So, get my Alright, so I just showed a video here where I had the vehicle running, and you can see that this actually is actuating. I got vacuum coming from here, and in fact, when I pull this off, you can see that relax. So when I put that on, you can see that the actuator actually moves again. So I'm going to say that seems to be working. If for any reason there's an issue with it, as you can see, it's not too difficult to get to. So I'll just swap it out if this ends up having a bit of an issue, but I seems to be working right now, so I'm going to leave it as it is. So continue on. We're going to be removing the airbox here. And we're going to be again to start stripping the turbo out. Alright, so I'm just going to drop these guys out here. Give it a 200 job. This is going to back off a little bit. Don't take it all the way off, because there is a washer on this end here that helps hold this in, and this thing just kind of clamps in like that. So I don't want to be taking it all the way off. Don't want to lose that washer. It's just a bit of pain if you do. It's just enough to back this off that I can pull this off by hand. Okay. Obviously, you don't want to have this vehicle hot. You want to try to do this when it's cold, because you're down in the exhaust and stuff like that, and it gets really, really hot. Get that off there. Alright, so let's just pull this guy off here. Should be about loose. Yeah. And I'm going to flip that guy over and take the electrics off. Get that to here. Alright, so as promised, I got light on right on this. I'm going to show you. Sorry, flip it down. Let's see if we get the camera in there. Alright, so there's a turbo there. Okay, now up and down, get your finger on there. A little movement is fine, right? What this has is in and out. I'll show you. You can hear it. Now in and out means bearings and stuff are going. Up and down, some movement's fine. So it's in and out. If it comes in and out like this, then it's showing signs of wear. So I think that's just going with this. So. And as you can see, it's quite a bit of oil in there, so oil seals and stuff are going as well on this. So we're going to actually pull that off there. And we're going to, I may actually have to take that out. Oh, 2 sensor out, so luckily I have this special tool for that. So yeah, that's going to come out. Okay, cool. Didn't think I was going to need that, but yes I am. Right, so we're going to take a it should come off of there. It's just being a jerk. Alright. So we're going to take this off. So now you need a special socket for that. So I'll go grab that now. Alright, so here's a special socket. That's for lambda sensors. And it's open like that, so it allows it to go onto like there. Oh, yeah, let's try to get you in there. So goes on like that, grabs on. A very, very handy tool to have. And you can also get ones that look like a crow's foot as well. My kit did have them, so you can see the kits. I did have them, but they went missing. The joys of working in the shop. But I usually get along with this pretty well. So. Right, so this one here's 3 screws. Right, so I need something a little bit bigger than that. That bigger. And just for future reference, future video, past video, this is no torque wrench. This is a 3/8 long handle, half-inch long handled. Of course, these like to be jammed in, don't they? I don't know if I need to take that out or not. Looks like, you know, I might leave that in. It doesn't seem to want shifting. It just don't defeat me. Hard to take the camera around. You know what? I'm going to leave that there. Causes a problem, then we'll work on it. The other guys are going to cause us problems. Alright, so we'll leave that there for now. We're going to try. I may not have to take the sensor off. I'm going to have to get this heat shield off though. I figured. Glasses is not staying on my face. Alright, let's try this. smushed in there pretty good. Fun. Fails. Almost fails. Go bigger. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it does. I don't think that's gonna work there. I think they're rounded off on me. Rusty. One out of three ain't bad. I'm probably gonna take this guy off too, so stick some lubricant I can find there now. Closest thing I can find penetrating fluid. These guys are supposed to grip. Special snap-on sockets there just to grip, even if they're like rounded off. Seem to work. If that was rounded off, and trying with the impact, 12 mil. Yeah, that one there gripped onto it. Now it's gripped on it a little bit too well, but we can deal with that. Get that guy off there out of the way so we can get to these bolts back here. Actually, maybe not have to worry about the oxygen sensor anyways. But, well, whatever. We'll see. Alright, so you get this guy off here now. Let's just use the same socket. Start at the back. Is why the hell not? Look at that. You can get away with the impact on that one. Hopefully, it should come straight out of there. Should be not the word. Seems to be aligned in the way. Yeah. What is that? Touch the rubber hose, so it should come off. One there. See where that goes. I just need that to move a little bit, but not liking that. I need to get to the top here. Get this out. Those bolts for the turbo are going to be on top here. Get the shield out of the way. That's it. So that there, if you can see it in the camera here, goes into here. There's a bit of a rubber seal or something. And I'm not liking the fact that seems a little bit crusty. I prefer not to have that busting. Getting wrecked, as it may not be so good. You need to get that off to get to those bolts there. I also have to take off the oil line. There's an oil line there that's going to return on the bottom that I need to get to. So I might have to go underneath anyways. I was trying to avoid going underneath, but there's a rubber line right there, so it might be alright. Take that off. It's going to return to the so I might get lucky. It's a rubber hose on the bottom, so I can kind of show you. Maybe the rubber hose right there. That is going to be the oil return for the turbo. So I need to get that off. Before we go any further, and then also the lines as well, the hose, the one going to the intercooler and all that too. Intercooler is right down there. Easy enough to get to though. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up to like this video, smash that subscribe button, and comment down below if you enjoy my video. Thanks. Me doing this in my drive, well, doable. Obviously the shop is a lot easier. I'll point out before though, it's not the point of this channel though. I'll show you what I'm doing here. See down there? Not really. There we are. So I've took this off here. And it's a special tool that comes with this. This goes around. All I'm doing is just breaking the seal on the rubber hose. And now they go right in. That's it. So once you get in like that, just run it around. And come with a kit for doing the stuff. So try to run it around as much as you can to break the seal. And normally, it's more than enough to get them off. It's a lot easier with 2 hands though. So. A new camera, the same old tripod. Doesn't seem to want to work so well together. Alright, done. So a lot easier when you have 2 hands. Okay, so now we need to do oil supply there. Just gonna run there. Oil supply is there. It's gonna run back to there. So now the flexibility I'm gonna want. So I have to see where we're going here. I mean, have to take, that's a whole hard line. So we have to take the whole thing off. It's going to be attached there. Attaches back in there, and it attaches back and behind there. And it's going to be on the block. Oil feed, and they're going to have brass rings as well as brass washers on them for seal. So I think some new ones came with the kit. Pretty sure they did. So I'll probably take that off. So I'm gonna end up tweaking that line and trying to pull the turbo if I don't. So it's gonna be, yeah, there's 10 mil. Oil supply loosened off. Okay. Now, what do you think your turbo? So one there, one there, one there. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's just 3. Okay. And 3 up top. Alright, so pull the exhaust off. I need to pull that oil supply underneath off, don't I? So I think that's the next one I'm going to do. I'm going to stick some cardboard underneath because it's most likely going to make a mess. Now I've got cardboard box underneath with some big torn up newspapers, so that should be enough. Now I might have to, I'm just blind, so alright. Yeah. Glasses are staying on my face today. Alright. The turbo I'm putting on this also is a bit of an upgraded model to it. So I'm not only am I replacing a turbo that's worn, but I'm putting an upgraded unit in, so should spool up a bit faster. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this underneath here, hook it on, and then you can squeeze it. I got it. Yeah, I got it. This special tool I have here that does this. So hangs it out. Yeah. It should come straight up there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Not a lot of oil in there. I didn't know how much it's going to hold in the turbo, but okay, so that's done there. So now we got the I think I'm good to start pulling it out. So we're going to undo the exhaust first on the back here. There's one there, one behind, and then we're gonna take it off this here because obviously it's holding the turbo upright. Obviously the oil supply as well. So I might be lucky if I can keep the other one on in the back and not take it off the block. That's just one less thing I've opened up that could leak. Right? It's not leaking now. If I find there's too much issues, so I'll grab that little washer there. If there's too much interference, then we will take the whole line off, but I was going to try not to. I prefer not to disturb things if you don't need to. Because obviously if there's a need, but we'll have to see how much room we have. It's not a massive deal, it's easy enough to get to, but yeah, I prefer to leave it if at all be all possible. This one's going to fight to put her back on, so alright. What do you reckon? It's 12 mil, isn't it? 12. No, yeah, yes. 12 mils. Alright. How lucky is it going to be that this is going to go for the 3/8? See the saw. Get that way. That there. Alright. Let's try to do that on that side. You know, always the optimist me. Thinking, yeah, I can get that with a 3/8 straight ratchet. Yeah, I have a long one, and I don't have a long one. Alright, 2 seconds here. Alright, so in the meantime, what I had to do is one of these bolts back here, I decided to twist and round off. So I had to take the two ones down there, take them off, which were a bit of a pain. I had to go underneath, which I was trying to avoid. And they were tight as can be, tight as a mofo. But I got them off, so I'll take this all off, unit off together, and I'll look at getting those bolts off back there. Once I got the hull off. The last vehicle I did the same bloody thing. But it wasn't one of these. So I thought I'd get away with it, but I didn't. Why did I try with that guy? Let's try this guy. Yeah, nothing ever works out. Do you think it's going to do this? That's fighting it all the way off. Alright, well, I got the turbo out. Unfortunately, I did have to take off that line at the back there for the take off the wheel line. I take the intake had to come out. I meant to say exhaust manifold, not intake. Sorry, I was being a dumbass. I know it's exhaust manifold. It's not the intake. This is not only is it oil cooled, this is water cooled. There's also a bracket that sits underneath the turbo. This guy here that sits on the bottom of the turbo. That sits at oil return. Sits down on there. So I'll probably have to run some silicone around that, seal that back up. So it's gonna have a gasket, as well as you have your coolant here. There's your coolant return down there. There's your coolant pipe there. Obviously, there's a coolant pipe running along there. There's your intake. Once again, I meant to say exhaust, not intake. So, yeah, let's get the intake out. Exhaust manifold, sorry. It had already been a long day by the time I got to this. As the turbo wouldn't drop all the way down, it kept the bolts still sticking up. Take the intake out so I could pull the turbo at the top. Which means I probably didn't have to take off that. I'm probably going to take off this actually because the intake had to come out. So. Yeah, I definitely been a dumbass here and kept calling the exhaust manifold the intake. Oh well. You live, you learn. So I'll probably put that back in before I put the turbo in and bolt that up again. So be live, you learn. I've never done a turbo on one of these particular vehicles, so yeah. Here's a turbo unit. So I need to get this off. Couple of that bolt there didn't want to come off very nicely, but now with it out, I should be able to work on this a lot easier. And so that's your coolant lines. So this is coolant and oil cooled, and then that's your oil there. I'm trying to mess with the turbo. Oil goes in there, goes out the bottom to lubricate it, also cools it as well. This just uses coolant, so my cooling system is going to have to be bled and refilled up. Let's get this guy off, and then we're going to probably have to strip this turbo down a bit, and then we will separate it out, and then we'll replace the CRH, which I have a brand new one inside. So yeah, I'm gonna get this guy off here. That one there, and the bottom one there. Go from there. Alright, I realized I probably should have showed this process here. So far what I'm up to is I've took off the coolant lines, which sit like this on there. Right, gaskets and all are on there. We have removed the oil return, which sits on the bottom there. Sits forward like that. So, see if it's off. Got a gasket there. I think got new gaskets. This stuff came with the kit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate this. I'm going to take these out here. Now, I'm actually going to take off this unit here. Right, so I need to strip this down as much as possible. Now, this turbo here, I haven't said, I've done one of these. I've done this CRH, but it was on an old Mitsubishi Delica, and it had a massive snap ring that held it together. It looks like this thing here is held together by these plates and these bolts, so fingers crossed that it's a lot easier to get apart. Delica was a bit of a pain. Okay, so it's not 10, it's going to be 12 on there. So I'll get that. So this is where like a vise and a workbench would be handy. But actually, you know what it is. Right, so get off here. Now this is just like I said. Don't do that. Alright, so right, so I've cracked all these off. I need to also get this guy off here. Be a 10 for that. Yeah, 10 for that one. Alright, so I'm gonna crack that loose there a bit. This is actually to adjust this back and forth. I'm gonna try to keep it where it is, but I need this to be out of here. I should be able to turn that. And this should back that out. This is just like a stop, so. You can see it's a little bit clumped up in there, so. A pair of pliers or something on that. Oop. So you see, it's just got a little dealy in there. So the camera seems to be focused. I don't think that pops on there. Handy if it did. I don't think it does. I don't think it's like that. No. Too bad. That would make my life easier if I was going to pop that out. Mention in the comments if you can. I might just go get the new one and I'll know how it goes on. Alright, just looking at the new part here. This stays on. That has to screw out. So right, all this stays here. So this does spin in here. That's the theory. It's a little bit old and stiff. I have a feeling this is OEM turbo in this car, and this vehicle's got like, well, you've seen the mileage before. It's a few 100,000 miles on it, so And I'm pretty sure when I got this vehicle, it had been neglected a little bit. As in, like, turbo services and stuff weren't done. So, even then, it's an old vehicle. Sorry about that. Alright, so that's not going up any further. Like I doesn't want to move out, so. It's really not moving very nice. I wonder if that's where my issue was. It's really got a lot of resistance in that. I'll show you the difference in a second here, the new one. Look at that. Let's go. This guy here is done. So let's put that somewhere else. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean here. So get the new one out. Using new CRH, right? So you can see that. This is what we're replacing. See how well that moves? Nice and gentle, right? Very cool. See how this moves. Jammed. That is where our fault is. Part of it. But in here, as you can see better now, as it goes. I'll show you here. So signs of wear there. In and out. Okay. As well as it's got some. So yeah, it's worn out there, so that's replacing that in there, as well as it'll replace that part there, which is jammed up. So what we have to do here this side here, so let's separate this now. Right. I try to do this ginger, but I always don't want to damage the case, but we want to get it apart. Like I said, obviously a nice vise or something holding on to that end would be nice, but I don't have that here, so. So what you have to do with doing it like this is you have to be kind of clever with stuff. So once you get it cracked, it's cracked off, easier. Alright, so all the bolts are out, and look at that. It separated really easily. Happy days. At least that part did. Let's not speak too soon here, right? So you need to get this part out here. So the one thing I would suggest, and I've already done that, is to take a picture and know the orientation of the turbo, where it was. Now obviously I have a video here, so I'm going to check back on my video and see where everything was oriented. So but it's always good to take a picture and know, because you need to know where this orients when it goes back in the car, or else it's not going to sit right. I don't see anything with this one here. So I'm taking a mental note, even where the oil gallery sits. What I'm going to do is going to knock this off. Like a rubber mallet or something, so hold on here. Or in my case I have a one for leather on this side, brass on that side. I should be able to knock on this and it should come out. So you can even see there a bit more. So it's still spooling, but watch these can also be quite sharp as well. It's starting to move a bit. This isn't the easiest thing to do like this. This is a vice bench would make life easier, but do with what we have, right? Stop walking my camera around. Be handy. Just like to say, at this point I had a box underneath me with a whole bunch of crumpled up newspapers, so if the casing did fall, it was going to fall into the box with a nice cushioned landing. It wasn't going to cause any kind of damage. Isn't that good? Alright, well, I'll figure something out here. Alright, we'll see if this works. Don't move off like that. Once it gets moving, I'll be good to go. Okay, so one more quick thing here. So when I took this apart, this is actually a bit jammed up and it's full of shite. But I was able to kind of clean it up and lubricate it, and now it moves really gorgeous. And what that does is inside there you'll see some fins. You'll see them moving back and forth there. And that's what it does. So that now is going to boost really, really nice. So I'm going to finish this up tomorrow because I'm running out of time, and I'm running out of battery power. So we'll see you tomorrow. Alright folks, so I got the turbo kind of put back together. New CRH cartridges in there. One thing I kind of had to do is the variable fins, and I'll put up a picture here. Right, so this gives you a view of those fins inside with the vacuum actuator and how it moves that lever. It gives you an idea on how those fins direct the airflow towards the impeller to help create the boost that's needed for depending on the power demands of the engine. Let's hold on here. So the variable fins inside here were actually, I'm going to show you here, we're actually kind of jammed up a bit, and I think that's kind of a major contributing factor to the slow acceleration, lack of boost at low RPMs. I think they were stuck more for the high RPM side. So I was able to clean them out and work them. Still have to replace the whole unit inside, and I think it's actually built into this to replace this whole unit. I was able to get them to work. So now a lot more movement, and so you can see that's a lever from the picture I just previously showed you, and so the fins are now able to move a lot more back and forth. So that's going to help out a lot. So previously when I showed where this was running, you can see this moving a bit. It was doing the best it could, but it could only move a little bit because those fins were not allowing it to have the full range of motion. So that's all sorted and done. So I put it back together all along here, and inside here, I unfortunately wasn't able to show you. I was just trying to get this done. I was running out of time. I was last on this. Is there's a way of orienting. Now, when you put this, when you put this unit on, there's a little notch in the ring where the little levers are for all the variable fins. And you have to line that up to this rod here. This rod here has a little bit inside that swing back and forth. I don't think I can show you. Maybe. Here's the old unit. There you are. So that lever moves this thing back and forth. That sits in a little notch that's in the ring that sits here and moves the fins back and forth, right? So as it moves back, it's doing that, right? The last one is only allowing it to move just a tiny bit like that. However, it's stuck. I think it was stuck more in, so it's only getting that out of it a bit. So now it should work a lot better. Obviously, taking this out, it damaged a bit because it was rather rusted in there, and I don't see. You can see on here, but there's also a little dowel that sits on the top of this case here. You have to line it up to a little hole that will sit. It's missing off this here, but there's a little hole that is sat in along here. That you have to kind of line. It helps you orient this to that. Now this unit here, I want to got these in loose right now because this I can orient this to however the downpipe is that goes to the intercooler. So I've left that loose right now. I'm just going to go and kind of get that oriented so I know where it's kind of sitting. I might just look at my pictures that I took previously, and that's a good point in taking the pictures is you kind of know where everything was sitting anyways. I think that's about right, but I'm going to take a look on my pictures. I might even just stick this down engine bay and see how that lines up and make sure it all lines up to where it should. Nice thing is I can loosen this off. I can turn this a little bit, tighten this back up. There's an rubber O-ring in there that sits inside this unit here. All new rubber O-rings and stuff like that. So, yeah, the rubber O-ring. This one's missing, but it actually sits kind of in like that groove on the new one. Right, so got oriented as I wanted. Got just kind of stuck it down in there, lined it up to the hose. The hose naturally kind of falls, and and just and I've done it all up. So now we're going to start doing is I'm going to start putting the bits back on, like the drain tube on the bottom, as well as the cooling hoses as well. Now this kit comes with a whole bunch of new gaskets and washers and all sorts of fun stuff. So we're going to use this. So it comes with this nice thing as I'm buying from a proper little company. That piece of paper inside there actually is a report that shows you the testing of the turbo for balance at different RPMs. So they actually were able to balance this turbo so it spins up and spools up properly. So it's just kind of nice to have that report. And I'm in the UK, so I use the UK company. And this is what they do. So we're going to utilize these guys here. So here's a drain here. Now you want to take this off here. Use a flat blade or something to kind of pick that off, and then clean the surface. And then on the block, you're going to clean where this meets up to. Make sure it's nice and clean. Use like a flat razor blade or something that's kind of a bit of a scraper, or something that's kind of make sure the surface is clean and tidy. Alright, so it meets up nice. So we're gonna get that flicked off here. Sometimes these come off nice, and sometimes, as you see, this one here is not. It's quite old and crusty, and if I tried to reuse this, it probably would have leaked, because this is just, the surface has just gotten to the point now. This gasket is just that old and brittle that it wouldn't have probably sealed at all. Remember, I'm putting this on a nice clean surface on the CHR, so I really want to have a nice clean and new gasket. So this is going to take them, but it's going to fight me to come off. Sometimes they come off all in one piece and they're nice. This one here, it's the way this job's been going, it's fighting me the whole way. Alright, so far I've got the bracket back in here for the oil return. I had to put silicone around that because obviously the gasket broke when it came off. I thought it came with, this kit came with another one, but it was actually too small and it wouldn't fit around the studs, and it just wouldn't work. So I also got the oil feed line here with new washers on it back in there. So I've left it loose so I can move it around a little bit. And because I get turbo in and then I put the intake in. So I think I'm about ready to stick the turbo in here and try to get it all lined up, and then we'll go from there. And then just intake in, start bolting everything up, and then obviously I'm gonna stick some oil in the turbo before I I'm gonna run a little bit of oil through the turbo, and just before I put everything back together, and that way I know the internals of the oil of the turbo have been oiled. Last thing I want to do is you're running a turbo with no oil inside of it, and like while waiting for oil pressure to get to it. It's just going to cause so much more wear and could end up like wrecking the turbo, or at least causing a lot more excessive wear I don't need to have. So it's always it's a good idea. Just take a bit of oil and just run it, drip it through the top, and just like run through. It'll lubricate everything. Give it a couple spins by hand, and that way I know that it's oil is kind of circulated in there and got onto all the bits and stuff it needs to get onto. Right, so I've got the turbo situated in there on the exhaust there. Got it on the intercooler pipe down there, and got the intake obviously in as well. Studs are on. So now I'm going to start bolting this up, and we are starting making some headway. So water pipe there, our oil cooler line's right there. I'll run some oil in that, and we'll obviously have to put the stud in the back there, hold it in, but we're getting there. Alright, just so a quick rundown of where we're up to so far. So we have now the turbo bolted in. I ran a little bit of oil through it. I'll kind of show you how I did it just for anybody who's interested. What we done is took this, put it in a hole. Obviously the bolt wasn't there, and then just pour oil against this, and it runs down the shaft and into the hole. So I made a bit of a mess because it overfilled a little bit, but I want to have a bit more than not enough. And that's one way of kind of getting the oil down into something like that. You know, that's, if we had a funnel, obviously that'd be better, but I don't have a funnel that small to go into a tiny hole like that, so that works out fine. So done that. Got the cooling lines on. Cooling lines are all bolted up there. I need to just do the clamp on the intercooler pipe, or to the intercooler pipe, pressure pipe. I've done, obviously this is all bolted in. Oil lines all done. We have, I think I'm almost done there. I'm going to put the heat shields and stuff on it. Hook up the oxygen sensor. There, sorry. And a second. That's bolted in. Actually, I said I had to take that out to get the intake in, and I realized me being hesitant wasn't actually founded. Now the rubber ring was fine on there. Took it out, got the intake in, and it. Sorry, I don't know why I keep calling the exhaust manifold the intake. I'm just being dumb. I do actually correct myself in a minute here. Just be patient. As you push that back in, a little bit of oil and grease that exists around the rubber ring to help it slide in. Slid it back in, bolted back up. So yeah, I know it says it didn't take that out, but it's just me being overcautious. You know, I prefer not to break stuff. So now, I'm gonna do the put that on there with a little clamp. Hit the oil return. That's done up on the bottom, on both ends. Yeah, so I think pretty much the heat shields and stuff up top. This guy here, if anybody's seen this, the rubber was like perished on it. It was kind of done. It came off. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to probably just take some zip ties and just zip tie around it, zip tie it back into place, and that should be fine. Down the road, if I have to replace this little pump, this little unit here, I don't think they're super expensive, and then it'll come with them anyways, and you know, there'll be no drama. So, but in the meantime, a couple zip ties on there that'll hold her in place, and it's just to kind of just hold it back where it needs to be. I don't want it flopping around. So, like I said, it was already starting to peel off anyways. The laminated, the rubber is just hard as a rock. It's just let go, so it's most likely an OEM part. So obviously, I do the exhaust down there, bolt that back up. Let that crawl my fat arse underneath there and get that. And then it's just kind of look over everything, and then I gotta probably top up the cooling system. And there's a way, right here, if I can get my tool down into it. That's a little touchy, but you can crack that open, and then it'll help bleed some of the coolant out until you see coolant coming out of there, and then do it back up. It's just a way of making sure to get all the air out of the system. So I will attempt that. I was going to see that oil supply is a bit in the way. There's a bit of a stupid way of doing it, but I should be able to get Allen key on that. Yeah, it'll be close, but I think I can get it down. So I think I got one that'll fit that. So we'll be doing that and filling the cooling system back up. Hopefully I haven't lost too much. Actually, I'll probably run and get some coolant for this before I do all that. But we'll get her going. All right. So I think it's heat shields, exhaust. Oh, and obviously the pipe there. I know pretty quickly if that was off because it would probably blow that off. So get it on now. All right. So I got the exhaust down there, buttoned up, all tightened up. Shields are all on. I like to just kind of correct myself here. I know earlier I said this is the intake. I realize now it's the exhaust manifold. So if you made this far, if you've corrected me in the comments already, yeah, I was being a dumbass. Obviously the intake's on the side. That's the exhaust manifold. I know that. I was just being stupid. Just a bit thick. So yeah, exhaust manifold. It's not the intake. But hey, if you don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like to watch my videos. Comment down below if you already commented and saying it's the exhaust manifold, not the intake. Any other stuff you want to comment on, by all means, let me know. Any dumb, stupid comments will be replied to, obviously, but I do try to reply to all my comments, and hopefully I try to help people out with these videos. But yeah, let's crack on here. So everything else, I've gone over everything. Everything's all buttoned up. All lines are on. Everything's done. Oh, turbos are all got lines and everything all to it. I'll run some oil through it. Top up the cooling system here, and then we will. I'll put obviously the rest of the airbox together. Top cover on. Clean up after I'm done here, and we will take it for a quick spin. I do have still front struts I want to be doing on this, which if I had to take look again, I think these are double wishbone on these, so I think it's a different kind of strut on it. But yeah, I may have to be taking all this stuff out again. 2 seconds here. Maybe not. I think they're double wishbone, so a bit different. Okay, but yeah, we'll crack on with that one there. That'll be my next video. I'll do a separate video, but yeah, we'll take this for a drive. So let's get crack a luck in here. I'll see you in a second for a test drive. All right, so we're in the Kia now. Turbo's in. I got the coolant and everything all filled up. I ran it up for a bit to get the temperature up, make sure the coolant and everything's ran through it. So let's show you now the results. So I'm just in the parking lot here. Alright, so here we go. I can tell you right now, it's a massive difference, massive improvement. So I'm not even giving it full throttle. Half throttle. Seat now. Before I was like, it was okay, but I mean now it's like you can tell there is a difference there. That is, and even like low RPM, it's off. It wants to go. So yeah, I think it's I can definitely feel a difference in the power. So yeah, I think that's a massive difference there. It seems to have a lot more power. Seems to definitely, the mid-range is a lot better. Off the line, it picks up speed a lot quicker. I get boost a lot quicker. So yeah, I think that's definitely a winner onto there. I think if I reset the adaptives, it might make it a bit better for the gearbox and stuff like that. We'll shift a bit better, but even if you don't have that means of doing that, then you can just by driving it, it will eventually things will change. Like there'll be like different things for shift points and stuff. The TCM will end up learning, and it'll kind of tweak it to the systems to how you drive and how the vehicle's running. So yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me for more videos, and comment down below if you want to comment. And hopefully you enjoyed this. This helps you out. So on to the next project. I'll be doing the struts on this next. But thanks for watching, and see you again.